During a tumultuous time for the Roman Empire, a time when the ruling parties were split among four leaders, Constantine led a decisive battle over Maxentius at the Battle of Milvian Bridge. This battle would aid the claimant Constantine to solidify his hold on the eastern regions of the empire. While marching his army to what would be the final battle site, he was caught in a vision where he saw the sun and above it a cross, and accompanied by the words, "In hoc signo vinces," when translated to modern English from Latin, means, "In this sign, conquer." This sign would be pseudo-canonized as the Chi Rho described by then Christian bishop of Caesarea, Eusebius. The Chi Rho would serve as a sign and accompany the labrum, or the standard of the emperor. I'm not particularly religious, but what I can glean from this story is the importance of signs or symbols. This sign with its accompanying message bolstered the ranks of Constantine to reign in the rogue states of the then fractured Roman Empire and prolong the collapse of the empire for another millennia. The fallout from this battle and its winners set in motion a multitude of world-changing events, most notably the passing of the religious flame from the polytheistic pantheon to the monotheism of Christianity. As the centuries passed, the West would fall and the East would continue on, maintaining both power and influence in the region and known world for many centuries after. It leads me to think, why did the West fall and the East survive? Was it the seemingly invincible walls of Constantinople? Was it the invention of the enigmatic Greek fire used in naval conflicts? Many argue it was the onset of the Germanic tribes that led to the West's fall. My rebuttal is this: the East also knew its fair share of aggressors, from the Slavs and the Bulgars on the west and north, and the newly Muslim caliphates and Sassanids to the east. These were, in my opinion, much greater and formidable foes than the Germanic tribes. Maybe it was a mixture of statesmanship of its emperors, or formidable armies, or technological prowess, or prosperous economy that gave the everlasting spirit to the empire for just over 1,000 years. Now, my opinion is this: it was the recognition of signs, the Chi Rho. Not it specifically, but its use and deploy among the ranks of soldiers that it was meant to bolster. The sign itself is nothing particularly special, but a bit of formed metal hung on top of a labrum to the emperor. But it's what it stood for and what it signified to the people that meant so much. Many years later, signs and symbols were so important that it spurred the iconoclasm, or debate, on whether icons should be present in new Christianity. A war on symbols, a war on signs, and a war on icons. Signs and symbols are very powerful and convey strong messages. We have used this phenomenon of signs to our advantage in modern times to aid, direct, protect, and warn. Now, the name of this channel, the Representamen, is a term taken from the field of study called semiotics. Semiotics is the study of signs and symbols, and a representamen is a very straightforward naming, which means a representation, or a thing serving to represent something. This channel and its videos will look at signs and symbols in a large measure, but more broadly, it will serve as a space where I can freely interpret both past events, current events, and other intellectual quandaries that I feel have lasting importance. This channel will most likely entertain ideas ranging from the most esoteric fields, for example, simulation theory, to the more grounded fields of psychology and sociology. Some topics could step over the line of decency and taboo into more frowned upon venues of thought and examination. But in my defense, to quote Aristotle, it is the mark of an educated mind to entertain a thought without accepting it. Now, this might come across as pretentious, but I want to illustrate the idea that even the willingness to entertain thought is so powerfully freeing and mind-altering. How could it not be an exercise in education? Do all ideas have some degree of merit? Are there some kernels of truth in movements and ideologies? And are we always free to have these thoughts? Or are we all thought criminals in an Orwellian sense? If you are watching this video, I have an exercise for you. In your life, your home environment, your workplaces, your sanctuaries or places of refuge, are there symbols present? What are these symbols? What are their histories? What makes them powerful and meaningful? What do they mean to others? Is it a family crest or heraldry? Is it a tattoo that holds meaning to you and others? And let's think about our public spaces as well. Do buildings and structures hold significance? And if they do, what do they mean to you? What are they trying to convey to everyone that lives in that space? We are surrounded by symbols, and we need to know them, and why they exist, and what they mean. I am the Representamen. Thank you for watching.